For a number of years, our company produced more oysters than the whole of the English, Welsh, Scottish producers put together. It's mainly because of the vast areas of flat beach that we've got around here, whereas in the UK it's generally they're grown in estuaries, you know, on the banks of rivers, etc. You know, we've got so many flat areas of beach.
The company is exporting about 550 tonnes of oysters a year, and that adds up to about 20 million oysters plus, because we sell them from this size right through to this size.
So 10,000 of those per tonne?
Yeah.
And you sold how many tonnes?
We sent 250 into the UK last year and 550 in total.
That's a lot of oysters.
This is what we were hoping to show you this afternoon, and as you can see that would have been a lot nicer than standing in here. That's what it looks like when the tide's, on a day like today, if the tide had gone down another 6 foot, it would have been like that.
Basically, we buy oysters when they're the size of your little fingernail, 7mm. They'll go into these bags here. We can produce an oyster of that size if they have 2 summers, and that's when there's more plankton in the water. If they have 2 summers, we can grow an oyster to that size, market size, in 18 months. In places in France, it can take up to 3 to 4 years.
We'd like to concentrate more on the UK because we see that as a growing market for us, whereas the French market is enormous, but oysters is much more the staple diet for the French. So the more oysters that you start eating where you come from, the happier we are.
It's fantastic, an eye-opener.
Both grading machines, the one over here grades small oysters from that size up to this size, and this machine here grades large oysters which are going for human consumption or market size when they're ready to sell for eating.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it's in water you can hardly hear it at all.
The water comes up to this level and there's a couple of inches of water over the top of the grills. The oysters almost float along, and there's just a small amount of gravity in the water, just enough for them to fall through. They fall down to the bottom and they're picked up by the conveyors.
We bought this machine, this grading machine over here, which is electronic, and it can grade 20,000 oysters an hour. And then they go up, and like I said, you know, a grade 3, so all the oysters that fall in there should be 65 to 85 grams. And then I can program the machine as well to, if I want 150 oysters in this bag, at 150 that just shuts. So small gap, the oyster is weighed, and then when it gets to the right point the magnet opens and they fall into the right area.
So are they seasonal at all? Are there times of the year when they are?
There's 2 types of oysters, diploids and triploids.
Right.
The diploids spawn, so in the summer months they get milky. So when you hear people say, oh, that oyster was very milky, it is literally in the inside because it's full of spawn. And then once that spawn goes, it will go transparent because all that spawn's gone out and it's just basically seawater on the inside.
This part here, which is the meat, is the part that actually turns to milk when the oyster's ready to spawn. So that whole sac there, instead of being firm and meaty, just slowly turns to milk, and that whole sac, the milk is basically built into microscopic oysters. All those microscopic oysters float off into the far blue yonder, and then 10 days later they will grab hold of the next thing they touch.
To get over that problem they had triploids, which they're not genetically modified at all. They just basically take non-sexed oysters, so they don't spawn, they don't mature, so they stay constant meats through the summer. So like that you can ensure year-round supply. Big part of it is the presentation, because if you've got an oyster that's spawned, it's basically just a mouthful of seawater. So you know, there's no taste to it. So that's, you know, part of knowledge of knowing what you're serving up.